There is a specific kind of silence that happens just before you start an engine like this. It's that brief, heavy moment of anticipation where you realize you're about to wake up something that wasn't necessarily meant to be tamed. We've spent decades calling the Corvette the working man's supercar, but looking at the 2026 ZR1 and its electrified sibling, the ZR1X, that title feels almost insulting. We aren't in supercar territory anymore. Chevrolet has officially crashed the Hypercar party, and they didn't just bring a bottle of wine, they brought a sledgehammer. The heart of this beast, and the reason your chest tightens when you floor it, is the LT7. It's a 5.5-liter, twin-turbocharged DOHC flat-plane crank V8. If those words sound like a foreign language, just know this: it produces a staggering 1,064 horsepower and 828 pound-feet of torque in the standard ZR1. This isn't just a tuned-up Z06 engine, it's a re-engineered masterpiece with massive 76mm mono-scroll turbochargers that suck in air with a hunger that's frankly a little intimidating. When those turbos spool up, the sound isn't just an exhaust note, it's a mechanical scream that fills the cabin, reminding you that there is a literal explosion happening just inches behind your head. To understand why this car is such a leap forward, we have to look at the engineering under the glass. The Corvette team didn't just bolt turbos onto the existing flat-plane crank V8 and call it a day. They had to redesign the head castings with unique ports and a larger combustion chamber. The valve train is optimized for forced induction, and the cooling systems had to be completely reimagined to handle the thermal load of over 1,000 horsepower. One of the most impressive feats is the dynamic anti-lag system. Usually, in a high-horsepower turbo car, you floor it and wait for the boost to hit. Not here. The LT7 uses sophisticated calibration to keep those turbos spinning even when you're off the throttle, ensuring that the power is always right there waiting for your command. It creates a torque curve that feels less like a curve and more like a vertical cliff. Chevrolet's Assistant Chief Engineer, Dustin Gardner, described the sensation as being strapped to an aircraft carrier. And after feeling that 9.6-second quarter-mile pull, it's hard to argue with him. But then there's the ZR1X. If the ZR1 is the ultimate expression of internal combustion, the ZR1X is a glimpse into a high-voltage future. By taking that same 1,064 horsepower V8 and pairing it with an electric drive unit on the front axle, Chevy has created an all-wheel drive monster with a combined output of 1,250 horsepower. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a factory Corvette that can sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. It completes the quarter mile in less than 9 seconds. These used to be numbers you'd only see on a spec sheet for $1 million European exotic or a dedicated dragster. Now you can get it with a bow tie on the front. What makes the ZR1X truly special isn't just the straight-line speed, it's the intelligence of the EAWD system. This isn't just about grip, it's about regen brake torque vectoring. The car actually uses its electric motors to help pivot you through a corner, pulling the nose in while the rear wheels push you out. It feels like the hand of God is reaching down and guiding you through the apex. And for the track rats among us, Chevy included specialized energy modes, qualifying for that one perfect soul-shattering lap, and push to pass for when you want to make sure the guy in the Ferrari knows exactly what just happened. There's even a stealth mode that allows for a quiet electric departure at speeds up to 45 miles per hour, perfect for leaving your neighborhood at 5 a.m. without waking the dead, right before you find the highway on-ramp and unleash the full 1,250 horsepower flying start.
Visually, these cars are a masterclass in aggressive aerodynamics. You can't miss the ZTK Track Performance Package if you're looking at the high downforce version. It features a massive rear wing, front dive planes, and a tall hood gurney lip that looks like it belongs on a Le Mans prototype. At top speed, which for the ZR1 is north of 233 miles per hour, this aero kit generates over 1,200 pounds of downforce, literally pinning the car to the tarmac. Even the small details matter, like the return of the iconic split rear window. This is a beautiful nod to the 1963 Stingray, but in 2026 it serves a dual purpose. The carbon fiber spine between the two panes of glass isn't just for show. It acts as a massive heat extractor, pulling hot air away from the twin-turbo engine. It's a rare moment where heritage and high-tech functionality shake hands. The cooling doesn't stop there. The flow-through hood is a work of art, taking air from the front grille and venting it up and over the car to create front downforce while simultaneously cooling the turbo intercoolers. Every vent, every scoop, and every carbon fiber crease on the bodywork has been placed there by an aerodynamicist with a specific goal in mind, keeping this 1,000-plus horsepower weapon from taking flight. Inside, the 2026 model year brings a much-needed evolution to the C8's cockpit. For years, people complained about the Great Wall of buttons that isolated the passenger. For 2026, that wall is gone. In its place is a much more open, driver-centric layout featuring a triple-screen setup. An expansive, high-resolution screen behind the wheel that changes its layout based on your drive mode, clean and simple for tour, focused and aggressive for track. The hub for your navigation, media, and the new Performance app, which gives you real-time data on horsepower, torque flow, and G-forces. This is the hidden gem. Located to the left of the steering wheel, it allows you to keep your performance traction management, or PTM, settings or boost gauges right in your peripheral vision without cluttering the main navigation. The materials have also been elevated. In the 3LZ trim, you're surrounded by Nappa leather, suede microfiber, and genuine carbon fiber. There's even a new electrochromic roof option that allows you to change the tint of the target top with the push of a button, moving from clear to dark in seconds. It's a jet fighter cockpit that actually feels ergonomic for a human being. When you have this much power, stopping becomes just as important as going. Chevrolet didn't cut any corners here. Both the ZR1 and ZR1X come standard with carbon ceramic brakes. We're talking about massive 16.5-inch rotors paired with Alcon 10-piston front calipers. These are the largest rotors ever fitted to a production Corvette, and they provide the kind of repeatable, fade-free stopping power that you need when you're scrubbing off 150 miles per hour at the end of a back straight. Supporting all of this is the Magnetic Ride Control 4.0. This system reads the road every millisecond and can adjust the damping in the time it takes you to blink. It's the reason why the Corvette is so uniquely versatile. You can put it in tour mode and it becomes a comfortable grand tourer that you could legitimately drive across the country. But click it into track mode and the suspension stiffens up, the steering gets heavy and precise, and the car becomes a razor-sharp instrument of speed. For those who want the purest experience, the new PTM Pro system allows you to dial back the electronic safety nets bit by bit. It even includes a setting that fully disables stability and traction control while keeping the EAWD's torque vectoring active on the ZR1X, giving you the freedom to slide the car while the front motors help pull you out of the drift. Driving the ZR1 or the ZR1X is an exercise in recalibrating your brain. We've become used to fast, but this is a different level of violence. Yet somehow, in typical Corvette fashion, it doesn't feel like a science experiment gone wrong. It feels cohesive. It feels like a car that was built by people who actually love to drive. The 2026 Corvette ZR1 and ZR1X represent the absolute pinnacle of American engineering. They are a statement to the world that the era of European dominance in the hypercar space is over. You don't need a seven-figure price tag to touch the limits of physics anymore. You just need a key to a Chevy. Starting at roughly $180,000 for the ZR1 and climbing toward $210,000 for the ZR1X, it remains a performance bargain. Even if those numbers sound high, they are a fraction of what you'd pay for a McLaren or a Ferrari with similar performance. It's loud, it's proud, and it is quite possibly the greatest performance value in the history of the automobile. The King of the Hill hasn't just returned, it's claimed the entire mountain.